name is Willie Minix. I am the author of the book Ren Faire Magic, and it's coming out on August the 1st of 2025, and it has 30 years of my life as a performer kind of crammed into here. There's information about magic tricks that you can perform in a Renaissance setting. There's information about stagecraft, costume design, all sorts of how to build your own props, all sorts of interesting stuff, and it concludes with a section on songs that actually date from the Renaissance period that you can perform if you're a musician, that you can learn and you can perform them at your next gig. But I also, in addition to this, have a series of decks. There's about 20 decks that you can get that all work for a Renaissance fair theme, and the decks that I have, they all have different people on the cards, so that if you want to do tricks at a Renaissance fair, you can still do a lot of the card tricks that you probably know as a magician, but you can use decks that actually fit a Renaissance theme. And I have different colored backs, I have different themed decks, and then I have expansion packs that kind of go with each deck. So if you want to, each deck actually builds on each other, so you can get other cards that kind of fit together with different themes. There's a Camelot theme, there's a monster theme, there's an Asian fantasy type theme, there's a pirate theme, and so there's a whole bunch of them. And then I have some of the classic trick decks that people use, and there are actually some trick decks in there too that are based off of some of these themes, so you can get them. But I want to show you a trick today. Basically, I want to tell you a little story. You probably heard the story of Snow White, and Snow White had what? She had some friends. She had 7 dwarves who were her friends, right? And they took care of her, and they all kind of lived together happily. But why did Snow White have to go live with the dwarves? Well, it's because her evil stepmother, who was quite a hottie herself, but she was always going to the wall, and what did she have hanging on the wall? She had her mirror, and the mirror basically was just a mirror, but in the mirror there was something magical. And when she would say, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all?" Well, let's see, let's get her back. When she would say, "Mirror, mirror who on the wall, who's the fairest of the wall?" what would happen? The mirror would sit there and it would say, "You are." But what was it that actually she was looking at? Like, when you looked at the mirror, it was kind of blurry and smoky and hazy, and then all of a sudden it would coalesce, and you would see, or she would see, the evil little creature that lived in the mirror that would say, "I can't tell a lie, my queen. Snow White is far fairer than thee." And you know, people would get freaked out by that creature, and they would like, actually nobody would. The evil queen summoned him up. Who knows where she got him from? But every time she'd look, it would be a little bit different. You know, it wasn't always that she could just summon the guy up. Sometimes she would come back and he would be gone again. And she'd have to say what? She'd have to say, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all?" And all of a sudden it would swirl and blur and everything. And then again, the creature would come to the forefront of the mirror and tell her, "Oh, you, my queen, are the fairest because you got rid of Snow White." That's the story of Snow White as I heard it anyway. I think Snow White wins in the end, but you can do this trick if you get the, I believe it's the monster, no, it's the magic item expansion deck, has the mirror trick in it. And each deck has several tricks that you can do that are included, and they also all work in conjunction with each other. So you have a great day. Check out Ren Faire Magic when you have a chance, and we'll see you later down the road.